All right, welcome to the Rocket Launcher podcast. This is, or I am your host, Supreme King. Has it been a couple weeks? I forgot how to do this. Join with me as always is my co-host, and his name is.
It's your guy Omazes.
And then, by the way, I think this is the episode 158. Yes, it's been a while. We took a couple hiatus. Almost did another hiatus, but I'm gonna squeeze this out for you people. Thank you so much for whoever supports and watches us. I do appreciate it. What we have on the screen is Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, another brand new Nintendo game. I got this in the mail. If anybody who follows knows, I pre-ordered a whole bunch of stuff with gift cards way early on, and then I just got like a couple Nintendo games that are just like being drip fed to me, which is cool. And it's funny because I'm not really playing the system at all. I just kind of wanted to put some footage together just for the podcast, do a quick impression. But before we get into that and some other Nintendo news from the past few weeks, I do want to get some of the older stuff out of the way that's not really as important. For example, the gaming show that was called Ghouls for Games, which was, I thought, more of a horror title at the time, but it didn't really end up being that way.
It was the Girls for Gaming, right? Just because it was
Yeah,
October. Ghouls.
yeah, and then like it was completely a whole different thing when I started watching it. I just want to just mention I didn't have anything that I pulled from it. It was a lot of people who was doing talking. There was one streamer that I paid attention to, or that I follow that was a part of it. But almost everything else I didn't have anything for. Did you have anything for this particular show?
I tried to force myself to pick something.
Okay.
So I chose the Arcane Eats, which
Okay.
just seems like it was your deck builder game, but you're making like recipes that make everybody happy. But it's your traditional mix and match cards and hope for the best and see what high score you can get. So it seems like an easy enough replay loop.
Okay.
But I'm gonna be it was like really pulling to like pick something, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, it was just a lot of talking, a lot of like, dev kind of thing.
I have
But
a question.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught this. So they had the four women,
Mm-hmm.
and then at the end it was three of them. They made a joke that one of them had to go, and they're like, "Don't worry, we didn't kick her off or something." Like they were trying to make a joke. But did
Yeah.
they explain like why she disappeared, or did she just have to go?
She just left. We didn't know if she was coming back. I remember it. I remember that
It
part.
looked weird because like one of them was like costume gaming chair, one of them was like gaming chair, one of them gaming chair, and she was just like outside sitting on like a beach lawn chair like by a pool, just chilling and relaxing. So it did look like it was like she didn't really want to be there, or at least she had something else going on. But it caught me
Yeah.
off guard and she just disappeared at the end. But all right, I thought maybe something more major. She probably just left.
I want to turn y'all attention to the screen. Just a few seconds ago, the footage kind of darkened a little bit. It's one thing that I wanted to mention about this game and my impressions. So I just real quick, I just wanted to mention that, and then we'll go back to the other show. But so this is Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment, Switch 2 title. Sometimes, so this footage, I do apologize, wasn't as much gameplay as I would have wanted it to be, and I was pressed for time, so I kind of just took the 30 minutes I can get. But a lot of it is very cutscene heavy, so it's just a lot of it's almost like a movie playing. But I do have some gameplay in there, and I did replay some gameplay matches towards the end just to show this off. But one thing I think they need to fix, and I think they will, is during the cutscenes, if you're not wiggling your controller, at some point it'll make the screen a little bit darker. You ever notice that in like certain devices, like it'll make the screen go dark before it goes out completely because you're not. Yeah, it's like in standby or something. So that happens with this game during cutscenes. If you're gonna play this right away, but if you wiggle the mouse, not the mouse, the controller, a little icon will pop up in the corner that will say, "Do you want to skip the cutscene?" Basically, press this button to skip. It's like you don't want to do that. You're just trying to just watch the show, right? So that it to me, I believe that's a little bit immersion breaking. It's just a tiny little tidbit, but it happened in certain spots that I kind of felt like was taking me out of it when I was trying to get into it. Just a little thing. Now, as you can see here, graphics wise, it's a lot better than the first Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity that was centered around Breath of the Wild. This one is centered around just after Breath of the Wild, but just before Tears of the Kingdom. I do recommend that you finish Tears of the Kingdom first. This does not really spoil anything for Tears of the Kingdom right here in the beginning, but they expect you to play it. And you'll kind of see that too, especially with Age of Calamity. They expect you to play through Breath of the Wild before playing that game. And this one is following suit with Tears of the Kingdom, but graphics wise, it looks a lot better. Just like I said before, if anybody was wondering about the build of this compared to how Age of Calamity launched, this is put together a lot better. So I didn't really have as much stutters. You could see a couple stutters with the cutscenes, but it's not anything like a frame rate drop. Where I remember when Age of Calamity first came out, people were saying that the game was dropping down to like almost 8 frames a second and stuff like that. This one doesn't do that. However, during the gameplay, if anybody played Age of Calamity or Hyrule Warriors type game from the past, you'll notice that in here they limit the enemies on screen. They limit it down a little bit, and they also slow down the combat slightly. It's just a tiny tweak of a combat that they slow down. And I noticed that right away. It doesn't make it seem like it's worse or anything. It's still fun. You start off playing as Zelda. Zelda right here is very, very OP. It was almost like she had all in-game abilities or something, like right from the beginning. Maybe she did, maybe, because I think this is still kind of like in the beginning though. But it's still fun, very flashy. I will say that if anybody's into hack and slash, I'm definitely into hack and slash. But I will stop this and go back to Tears of the Kingdom before, picking this back up. But gameplay wise, I will say if you're somebody who's coming from a Souls-like territory, or you're playing a lot of those 2D hack and slash games that are like challenging, this game, I mean, obviously it's a Nintendo game, is very much a breeze. There's like not really that much, and you'll see in a second. There's not much of challenge at all. I don't think they even allow you to like change the difficulty or whatever. But like really, you're just like, do you see that? Like I just took out like the entire the whole board and stuff. But you'll get to fight like some boss type fights and stuff, and it's just like sidestep and then you just beat them basically. All I gotta do, and maybe that comes from fighting enemies like Judge Clerk from Lords of the Fallen, or maybe a Bloodborne boss or something. Because I'm coming from that world, something like this is just like a breeze, right?
Okay.
But it's still, as you can see, very flashy. Fun. It's still fun. You're gonna have a lot of fun with it, I'm sure. It's too early for me to say it's too repetitive. But I do remember Age of Calamity starting to get repetitive if I played it immediately back to back all the way through. If you don't want it to feel competitive, not competitive, if you don't want it to feel like it's the same thing over and over and over again, I would still pair this with another game while you're playing, so you can stop a little bit after a couple levels and go play something else that's like completely different, just to keep it fresh. I think this was a $70 title. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I was buying it with gift cards. But I think it is, because I think everything Nintendo Switch 2 is It's $70 now. The Switch 2 is definitely performing better than the Switch 1. I mean, we already kind of know that. But I could feel the difference with this game compared to Age of Calamity, because Age of Calamity was a bigger deal for me. I remember making a whole video about it before, which did really good for the channel early on. But I do recommend this game. I did have more fun with this starting off compared to when we talked about Pokemon ZA. Well, it's a completely different game, but it had me more engaged basically from the get-go. So I would definitely still recommend this. The colors and everything is very bright. It looks very, very good compared to the first game. One thing I used to always trash Nintendo about is how you could see a lot of like rigid like edges of the game, edges of the board, and looking like it was not completely polished as far as graphics. I don't really see that with this particular game. It does look like they got what they wanted out of the graphics, even though it's still, you know, more of a cartoony title. They got what they needed. They did not need to compromise anywhere just to fit, you know, a whole bunch of people on screen and everything. Because Age of Calamity, they had to lower that resolution in order to do it, and it was turning a lot of people off. But yeah, that's the gist of it. That's all I really want to say about it. Was this a game that you followed at all or anything?
No.
No.
To be honest, no, I'm not really like it's cool. But because I'm still behind on a lot of Legend of Zelda games, I haven't really jumped into the like you know, hack and slash version of it.
So if you're somebody who is coming into Zelda for the first time and you're following the Breath of the Wild timeline, this would be game number 4 for you. And then if you're jumping into any other Zelda timelines, I mean, you'll go as far back as like the Super Nintendo days and stuff, right? But for anybody who's on a modern console, it's Breath of the Wild, then Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, then Tears of the Kingdom, and then this game, Age of Imprisonment. And that's the order, basically. Okay. We can move on to the other topic. I do want to circle back to the Galaxies Autumn Showcase. We'll probably give it its own segment in a minute, because I actually thought that was a good showcase, even though it's old. But while we're on the topic of Nintendo, let's jump into your topic, which kind of was my topic as well. But Nintendo's lawsuit ongoing thing with Palworld. Interesting enough, the main thing that they patented, which is the ball catch or Pokemon catching ability to put them in a ball, that was the patent that was just shot down, right? Like a week or two ago. Why don't you tell us more about that real quick?
Yeah, so Japan said nah at the patent office to reject. It was like they were looking through all the things they keep trying to own, and apparently one of the middle ones, which could throw the whole thing away, but they said no to the monster catching thing because they said there was too many other games that even came before Pokemon that did this. They were like with Dragon Quest and the Monster Hunter and like a bunch of other series. They're like, you can't just own this monster catcher thing because it's not yours. So they were like no, which is nice because that's what a lot of people were saying. That they shouldn't be allowed to do that. So it's nice to see that they just can't.
Yeah, and it's interesting enough because this was coming from their territory, right under their stomping ground, which you would think they would have like some sort of, you know, like buddy two shoes with, yeah.
It's nice to see it being held up, that they don't get to just do anything that they want.
Palworld is on my radar of a game to grab during Black Friday. If anybody remembers, that game launched at $30. Everybody, you know, ran their course with it, and then it kind of just went quiet for a while, and then afterwards it was known for the lawsuit thing, right? Um, I do. I would not mind playing that on PC. Even co-oping it if it has the co-op stuff. Um, Probably once it's all said and done. But once they lost that particular patent, that was the main thing. That was everything else was like secondary. And I remember as it was going on, so much other stuff was just being thrown out. But that was the main one, the ball catching thing. It also was kind of silly too, because how do you patent something after the fact and then try to go after somebody after you do that?
Yeah.
Because it's like I could sit here and be like, let me patent some random mechanic and then try to get rich off of some company. And I'm just Joe Schmo, right? Like, that was just kind of really silly. Real quick, because I just saw in my notes, this game, Age of Imprisonment, if you already have save data of Age of Calamity and save data of Tears of the Kingdom, then they give you some bonus weapons in the game.
Oh, that's cool.
I forgot to mention that. But yeah. So once it's all said and done, I'm definitely pro Palworld. I would like to see this go away where they can, have the full vision to be like shown to the world for that game and not have to compromise anywhere. Like, yes, the internet said it was Pokemon with guns and it was marketed a certain way to kind of look that way anyway. But I mean, just like you said before, there's so many other games that just do monster catching and stuff. And I mean, it's just like, let them have theirs. It's like, if you want to, like, you need to come out with a better game. That for Pokemon and Nintendo, and the only reason people are sticking it to them is just because of their behavior with everything. Because at the same time, they're still, doing lawsuits to like streamers and stuff like that, and not really going after the big companies. But this is one time where this type of lawsuit for them to lose is a big win for the indie market as well. Because then we can see more titles come out where people do want to say, I want to do what they're doing, but I want to put a little twist on it, right? Yeah. And we'll get a different game. Like Elden Ring and From Software, they put out a really good Souls game that everybody gravitated to and was like probably one of the biggest things of this generation. But imagine if they was to sit there and be like, okay, every Souls, like, we got a lawsuit for you because you're trying to make a game similar to ours. It's like, they don't have to do that because they have that formula down to a T and they make great games with that formula. And it's like, it don't matter who comes out with a Souls, like there's so many of them and it don't make any sense, but everybody still gravitates to From Software at the end of the day because of the work that they put in from the past. And all Nintendo and Nintendo and Pokemon, all they have to do is the same thing, and people will go out here, will enjoy everybody else's stuff, and then we'll come back and play your game when it's time to play your game. And that's it. That's really all it is. Okay. Did you watch the second Kirby Air Riders Direct?
Yeah.
I don't know why they needed to have a second one. And funny enough, it was like longer, like way longer. I think overall it was like an hour and a half. And then there was like a 30-minute countdown. And then they just had like, here's this hour show of Kirby Air Riders again. It didn't do much for me. It didn't really make me want to buy the game more. However, I did still get it as one of the other pre-orders because of the gift cards. But like, if I was to try to sit there and be like, am I going to, is this what sold me? It just didn't sell me, to be honest with you. Did it sell you at least? How you feel about it? No.
I cared very little about it. Matter of fact, one of the things that stood out to me in there, he was just like, now many of you are wondering what happened to this one like game mode that we had in the old one, where it was like a top-down view, and they were just like, well, it wasn't that popular, so we just got rid of it.
It's like, how do you even come up with that if the game is that old and ain't nobody touched it in forever? I don't know. I wasn't sold, I'm gonna be honest. But I will say I did write down a whole bunch of stuff about it. Yes, they have mini games in it. There was like they were showing off the top down, view racing mechanic. You could play with different styles of controllers, including the GameCube controller that they have. That's interesting. I will say though, it does look a lot better, which makes sense because it's a Switch 2 title versus GameCube title. But they also remade a lot of the courses that was on the first game and remastered it and made it look like a regular, course. I believe at some point they did say it was going to be 18 courses. There's a story mode, and of course there's going to be amiibos. I do encourage everybody to go out there and get the demo. They said there is a demo for it. The actual release date is going to be November 20th. So it's right around the corner. So the cool thing about that is maybe I'll be able to get this thing in the mail in time right before that weekend, and then I can give you guys some impressions on that as well. One thing I do need to mention with the game that's on the screen, Age of Imprisonment. For the people out there, I think pre-ordering titles is probably dead because
Could be.
Everybody else who just can go to the store day of and buy it, they were able to play. Now, I wasn't itching to play this, but I had a day off where this was supposed to come in the mail during the day off. And then I got an email saying, oh, this is delayed. And it's like 4 or 5 states over, which most likely meant some truck driver just could not drive for whatever reason. But what was so silly about it was like, okay, it was prepaid and then it was on my day off and it's literally sitting in a store where I can just go up to a store and buy it. But my actual copy is like delayed and in some other state, which is just goofy. Cause it's like this wasn't the first time something like that has happened. But the cool thing about it is I'm actually still kind of just playing Hollow Knight at the moment and Digimon Cyber Sleuth. So I wasn't too much concerned. I just wanted to get the footage done quickly for this. But I couldn't really get it in time. And then now I was just stuck with the footage that's just like way too cutscene heavy. Because I just only had like about 30-40 minutes in order to get this before I needed to go do something else. But yeah, it's like pre-orders, unless there's some sort of pre-order bonus, is like I don't see the point of pre-ordering titles. I just wanted to mention that. But yeah. All right, Kirby Air Riders, is that a game you're gonna buy one day?
Nope.
It ain't gotta be day one, but just one day.
Nope.
You want to play you want to race?
Nothing about it looks interesting to me.
All right. Well, there's that. Okay, let me glance on my little paper over here. Is there anything else Nintendo related to talk about? Anything else Nintendo related for you?
Nope. Not Nintendo.
No? Okay. Let's jump back to the past real quick. You watched the Galaxies Autumn Showcase?
Yep.
Now, how you feel about this showcase? I thought this was better. I thought there was,
it was
a lot of stuff on here that I actually wrote down. I do encourage everyone to actually go and watch this particular show. That's the Galaxies Autumn Showcase. And you'll find that somewhere on YouTube because there was a whole lot of stuff that I wrote down. And some world premieres in there too of some games that like I have the first game too. So real quick, what were some of the games that you took from this?
The first one was Defect.
Okay.
Which seemed like it was like an extraction shooter if I remember correctly. So I thought that was cool. The Warhammer 40K Bolt Gun 2.
Yes.
So I thought that was cool. That's getting something. Cloudheim also looked good. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. I was just gonna say that's it's an old school Doom looking game. I know the first game was given away on PlayStation Plus at some point. And also, why you talk about that? For the people out there, look at this screen. Look at how easy, like it's like no challenge whatsoever. And then I chose to fight each fight twice because this game had too many cutscenes, and I wanted some gameplay footage. Because they asked you, do you want to train again? But you see how it's like look how OP she is. Like it's crazy. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. What other games you got?
I also have this game Windblown and yeah, Cloudheim. Those are both like two of your old school like hack and slash 3D games. One was a little more like Legend of Zelda looking, like Viking themed, and the other one was way more like Ratchet and Clankish cartoony.
Do you want to put Windblown on our co-op list?
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
I'll write it down now. Because I put it on here and I was like, this could be a potential one. Because this is an action rogue like I had Windblown as well. It says it's up to 3-player co-op, and it's something like Palworld meets Diablo. That's what I wrote down. So I'll put this on this list right now. And so when that goes on sale, we can probably grab it on Steam. But yeah. Any other titles?
Oh, those are the ones.
Okay, so I had one that was called Quantic River, which is like a 2D Ghost Runner type game. We mentioned Windblown, we mentioned Bolt Gun, Clawpunk, which just looked like chaos. It was just chaos everywhere in a 2D form. Ground Zero. This has a demo. Ground Zero looks like Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, and Resident Evil 0. The originals and stuff. Horror game. I'm all over it. And then the last one I had was Painkiller, which is like a modern Doom that also has co-op, and I think currently is listed as for $40. Cool looking game. So we got your old school Doom and the new school looking Doom type titles here. If you ever want to play something that was alternative to those games, or while you wait for the next official entry. But yeah, this was a decent show. I didn't have no issue, really. I mean, I wasn't really rating it, but I mean, it was a decent show. How you feel about this show?
I watched this, the Ghouls and Kirby Air Riders all at the same time, and this was the main one that kept my attention. I kept like losing track of what was happening in the other two.
Yeah. So yeah, I do recommend that people actually go back to this show in particular, because there's probably a lot of things you'll find. Because I didn't expect to just pull that many little titles, but I'm glad that I did, and it was really, really good. Let's see. Okay, so I'll do the what do you call it? We ain't done this in a long time, man. Epic Games, our unofficial sponsor. Epic Games usually gives out free games every week. It looks like next week is going to be stacked from what I was seeing. And I haven't been here in a couple weeks, so I hope y'all been out here, claiming these titles, because these titles are still free. And you can't really complain when it's free, and they give them away every week, more than one. But currently, from now until November 13th, you can go claim the game Felix the Reaper, and then also Idol Champions of the Forgotten Realms. That was one that I had already owned. But they were advertising that it's over $100 in value that they're giving away for free. That's what they claim. So if you really feel like you can get some value out of it, maybe even half the amount of value, go check that out. They gave away a whole game and probably a whole bunch of DLC with it as well. The games that's going to be available from November 13th to November 20th. One of them is called Scourge Bringer. Not too sure about that one. And then Songs of Silence, and then 0 Hour. 3 titles next week from the 13th to the 20th. Go look them up. I don't know too much about them. I just wrote them all down. But I will say, as far as the sales, under Epic itself, I noticed that they had a few PlayStation titles that they had on sale in there that they were advertising on the main page. Spider-Man Remastered was showing as on sale for $23.99. Spider-Man Miles Morales was $19.99, and then God of War 2018 also $19.99. Three great titles. And that sale actually is very quick. It ends on November 11th. So if you want to take advantage, go take advantage. I mean, altogether, we're looking at like just over like $63 or $64. That's still a great deal for those titles. Those are the top PlayStation titles, basically. So for $60, you can get them all, and you can get them on PCs and, you know, play it at full glory with whatever rig you got, right? Okay. I do also want to mention some of your titles that was cut from last week, I guess. Just real quick, we could throw them all in there. Amazon was shutting down their MMO, right? Their MMO gaming studio, and that game is they're not gonna continue producing it anymore. Did you know what the name of it was?
New World, I believe it was called.
New World, yeah. So I don't know how many people was on it, but they're not going to support it anymore. So if you really care, go give it a shot real quick while there is somewhat of a player base.
Yeah, they're gonna keep the servers on through 2026. It still sucks to me that like they keep doing that. Like I don't. It makes me not like only online games. I feel like every single game should have something offline, even if it's minor, just so people can like play it as long as they want.
Yeah. Now, also, I was mentioning PlayStation. I do want to mention. I don't know how much time you want to spend on this because I'm not interested on getting the device. I don't think you are either. But apparently, the PlayStation Portal now will allow you to stream from it without using the PS5 if you have PlayStation Plus Premium. That's a very specific thing. If you have Premium, you can stream the premium titles from the device, and you do not need to remote play off of a PS5. What are your thoughts?
I mean, anything that tries to make premium more worth it is cool for those players. I'm still not going to get one, but it's a nice, like, added feature. I'm happy that it's not, because we're adding this, now you have to pay more.
Yeah, that is interesting. They try to, like, make you pay more, but I don't know how many people was running out there to try to buy this thing because of that. It is still, I believe, a $200 device. I don't know if it went up to like $220 or something, but they have the white version and the black version, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a $20 off or something during Black Friday, if you really want it. But just be aware, you still need to remote play off of your device if you do not have Premium, okay? Or else it's not going to give you much use. So you have to turn your own system on. And if I'm not mistaken, be under the Wi-Fi network, because I think people were trying without it and it wasn't doing so well. So yeah, if you just want to be somewhere else in the house or something, you got this device you can use. Let me get like 5 minutes on this real quick. There is a headset that I just bought. I'm actually using it right now. That's called the Logitech G435. That's Logitech G435. What is special about this? Not really much, but I just wanted to mention it because it was deep discounted at a Walmart near me. This headset started off as it's a wireless headset. It was $100 initially, and then I think it was marked down to $60 everywhere. And then at my particular Walmart, they had one where they put it on clearance and they only was asking for $25. I was like, $25 for this headset? You know what? I'll try it. I'll try it. And it's actually a very good headset for the price. I don't miss the $25. I barely felt like I broke the bank at all, right? You know what's funny is They had it on clearance for $40 the week before, and I was like, I'm not gonna get it, but I want to take a picture of it and like do some research on it. And I was like, what does it work with? Like, of course it works with PC, but it didn't, like, according to the videos, it did not work with the consoles. And I was like, oh, well, it's kind of useless. But then I saw it again. It was marked to 25 the very next week. And I was like, I still wanted a headset that was wireless for when I do the podcast, though. Well, I'm like, well, of course it works on PC, so that works. So why don't I just get it for that? And so I got it, and I believe the version of that headset that I have is actually a more modern version, or a version 2.0 or something, because it came with a dongle. The dongle actually allows it to work on console. So if you are out there and you're looking for a budget-friendly headset that's not breaking the bank at all, I do recommend this. Except for if you are the one person who was looking for an Xbox headset. Funny enough, I don't understand why Microsoft needs to do something about that, because you ever notice like there'll be devices and games and stuff, it's like it's everywhere but Xbox. I don't know what's going on with that, but this device, the dongle makes it work on PlayStation. It does have a built-in microphone, but I will say it's not as clear as my other headset. I have a $200 headset, the Turtle Beach 700 Max, that works on everything, right? But I wanted a second one. The mic on there kind of sounds like if you were on the phone. And I was like, okay, you know what? You get what you pay for. But the headset itself works. It works via Bluetooth without the dongle on the Switch. And then it works on PC with the dongle just fine, right? So this thing works on the Switch, it works on the PS5, and it works on the PC. And I'm pretty sure it'll probably work on the PS4 as well, just because of the dongle. But $25, I got a perfect, secondary headset. I can't complain about it. So again, this is the Logitech G435. I expect them to be deeply discounted online during Black Friday as well, because they have a lot of other versions of it, or versions of those headsets that they're trying to sell for a little bit more. But I just thought it was great. I was listening to some music. I felt like it was good. You can be in the other room and like do dishes or whatever. And it still plays your computer just fine from the other room. That's all I can really say about it. I just wanted to mention it. Kind of, is it off topic? I don't know. A little bit off topic maybe. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it probably connects good to your phone as well. I never actually did it with the phone, but it works for everything but Xbox. So sorry about for the Xbox players, but I do plan to still get the black and green Xbox headset. I do think that's a really nice headset. So if you're on the Xbox, I would say still try to go for that. That's the best version, because it's a first party Xbox headset, and you really wouldn't miss out with that. But this little thing works on all the other devices, and it is a little bit less quality as far as the build, as far as like it doesn't feel as sturdy as the Turtle Beach, right? But it is still the perfect secondary headset in my opinion. $25, you can't beat it, and I'm pretty sure for everybody else in your normal retail, you'll catch it for around 40, and I do think it's still probably worth it for 40. Okay. Let's see. Let me look on my notes. Okay. Grand Theft Auto 6. Grand Theft Auto 6 being pushed back to the end of 2026, basically, instead of the middle of 2026. Are we really surprised? I saw people was putting out videos and stuff on this. Is anybody really surprised?
I think it's funny, but I'm not. Well, okay, I'm partially. I'm surprised and not surprised. I feel like why is this game not done? But at the same time, is it ever going to be done? Like, it's like I feel both. Like, where it's just like, come on, like, you got to release it, but like they also can't release it any sort of broken. Like, let there
Right.
be one bug and people are gonna lose their crap. So they kind of gotta make sure it's perfect to a degree, but um, it is crazy that they still keep pushing it back. But I can't say like I didn't expect it to be. I guess I didn't expect it to be announced this soon that it was getting pushed back. I think it's a better way to put it.
I mean, at the same time, it's like it's the game, right? Like it has to be perfect, and I think people should be patient when it comes to that title because, like, if it is bad, it's a disaster. But it's like I remember when GTA 5 was pushed back an entire year. But afterwards, does anybody remember that? No, they're playing that game forever. They're making careers out of it, right? And I kind of feel like everybody will still do that with GTA 6 anyway. When it comes out, it's going to be the most sold game ever in 24 hours or whatever. And I think people will still enjoy it. I'll enjoy it. But I'm not too pressed. I do think, especially with the generation that's really wanting to play it, it's like a lot of those guys could probably still play the GTA trilogy set, Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2, and GTA 4. I'm pretty sure none of them played all of that. You know, that generation who really wants to play GTA 6, they only play GTA 5. I think a lot of them should go back and play that. I do plan to play a few titles. And now people are probably going to roll their eyes at this. True Crimes on PS2, Saints Row 1 and 2, and then I never finished GTA 4 because around that time, my system was stolen from me, the PS3. So like I want to go back and play those, and that'll hold me over. You know what I mean? Especially some of those other titles that was in the past from the PS2 generation, Xbox One generation. Like, I've never played those, but those were competitors to the original GTAs. And I think it's worth people's time to check some of that stuff out while they wait for GTA 6. Now, obviously, the games I mentioned are extremely dated, so GTA 6 is going to be on a whole nother level, but like, there's so many other titles to play anyway. What was that one game that was attempting to be a competitor that just came out? Sleeping Dogs, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that didn't just come out, but that was a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Personally,
yeah.
because like if I compare it to like another one that I've completed, so that and San Andreas, right, and then GTA 5, I actually like Sleeping Dogs the most, personally.
And Sleeping Dogs is gonna have a TV show or a movie or something. I think it was a movie.
It's still in the works, and it
Yeah.
needs to happen.
Yeah. So, there are some cool alternatives. I mean, people just gotta get out there and just take a look. There's another one I think it's not Legion Go. What is that game called? It started with an L. It was a couple of them. I can't think of it, but it was some games that came out that was with the launch of the PS5 and the Series X that I cannot think of right now. But they had it where you was able to like remote control your car or something on there. I can't think of it. Watch Dogs, yes.
Watch Dogs Legion?
Yeah, The Watch Dog games is kind of like that too. So it's like there are some titles out there that people can play. And then like, are people really sick of GTA 5? They literally, the people who play this cannot, stop rebuying the game every year or whatever they're doing. So yeah, I can wait. And I think it's going to be a phenomenal game when it comes out. But yeah, any other thoughts on that?
No, it does kind of suck. I did see a funny thing where somebody mentioned that they were trying to get their wife pregnant in time for GTA so they could take paternity leave, and now it's got thrown off by being pushed back.
That's crazy. That is crazy. I told you, like, that's the game that's gonna disrupt the economy, and that's the game that's gonna like literally people are going to revert back to like their parents' home and stuff, quit their job just to play it, and they won't even care about like what they're doing to their future because that game is going to mean that much to them, which is crazy to say out loud.
Mm.
Um, Real quick while I try to transition, you want to tell us about how much fun you're having in Shadow?
What? Oh, for this? So wasn't even looking at the screen. So yeah, Sonic and this is still part of that Sonic and Shadow collection. And what I really like about this is it feels like almost three different games, right? You have the Sonic side, which you switch back and forth between 2D and 3D, which
Mm-hmm.
already, even though you're doing like a 2D version of the level and then the 3D version, it just feels like two separate games put together. But
Mm-hmm.
then you add the Shadow one, which feels like its own third complete game. So the stories take place simultaneous. And in this one, it's the more action adventure. So you still have your running, but then there's a little bit more combat, and then Shadow has all these extra neat like random powers, and this is like I'm not super into the Sonic lore, but he gets these like demon wings and like all this extra stuff that he could do. Absolutely crazy stuff, but like was something came in and was like like taking all the friends and like turning the world black and white and like doing all this other crazy stuff. So while Sonic's trying to prevent that, he's trying to like stop it from destroying everything else. So he's like they're both fighting the same thing from two different aspects, as you can see from the cutscene. Uh, but his was also really fun. It's a nice variety where it's almost like if you get kind of bored in a way of one playstyle or you get stuck on one playstyle, there's like two other different playstyles you can just go do.
Mm. Okay.
I will also say though that Shadows is a lot more cinematic, right? So like Sonic's a lot of times is you get a small cutscene in between stages where like Shadow half of everything he's doing is like cinematic. And also what's neat is to go level to level. For the Sonic ones, you have to just walk to whatever stage you want to, and then you can enter it. Where for Shadow, you have to move around this entire arena to get to the stage you want to, and also fight things in between.
Okay. This game is still also one of the Black Friday on my radar games. So I will be looking out for it. I'm pretty sure those sales is going to surface hopefully by next week, and we could probably go over some of that stuff.
Yeah.
But that is on my radar as well. I'm kind of ready to transition. I have one surprisingly big topic, but we're gonna go into some of your other topics real quick because that leads into mine as well. Do you want to tell me real quick what's going on with Obsidian and Outer Worlds 2?
Yeah, so two separate stories. One
Okay.
that I thought was just pretty funny. I plan on getting this game real soon, and I heard it's been doing really well. The Outer Worlds 2, which I was already excited to get. But they have a premium edition uh, that you can get that comes with, extra stuff and whatever.
Right,
Now,
right.
one of the big jokes about the Outer Worlds and a big deal of the first game is mocking like consumerism, right? And taking down it's like the whole trying to force people to pay for stuff. Like that's a big plot point in the game. So they were the second game has this flaw system where if you do certain things, you can like pick up like different personality traits for your character that'll give you buffs and debuffs in the game. So for example,
Mm-hmm.
if you're constantly stealing stuff, you can unlock like a kleptomaniac uh perk where like it's easier to steal. You get less like detected less. However, whatever map you have, less obstacles will show up because you're so focused on items to steal. So like if something valuable is in the area, that's like the only thing now appearing on your map because you're so focused on stealing things. Right? So it's like different things like that. Well, if you buy the premium edition of the game that costs more, it unlocks the consumerism perk
Okay.
um where it to you get a discount in the store vendors for buying items, but you also get less money for trying to resell items. But it
Mm.
was a nice little like to mock consumerism. If you put in the money for the more expensive version, then you get a flaw for buying the more expensive version.
All right. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. Now the
Uh.
other side, Obsidian. for
Hmm.
that news. Obsidian, I've been on a little tirade online about the AI use and stuff. Um, and Obsidian decided they have an AI tool. So if you ask questions, it'll direct you where you need to go for AI stuff. And it's been directing people to another website called Obsidian that has nothing to do with the company.
Mm.
As they ask questions on something going wrong with Obsidian, it's like, here you go, and it's linking to the wrong Obsidian.
That's silly.
Funny enough, while I was looking up this article, which is again what part of my like where my hatred for this over reliance on AI, the AI thing is called hallucinates, I believe.
Oh gosh.
Um, yeah, that's just what the program is called. But when you Google about like the Outer Worlds 2 messing up, it says Outer World devs hallucinated and like did this other thing because it's trying to translate the information it found online. So even AI explaining what's wrong with the AI is saying things wrong.
Shout out to AI is taking over the world, I guess.
It's annoying.
Uh,
There's been a whole deal about some lady who just released some musical artist who's AI and it ended up in the top 40 on Billboard, and then Timbaland just tried to release AI artists, and it just seems like companies and the people who can profit from it are like, man, it's a talking point where everyone else is like, it's not a talking point, we hate it. Get rid
right.
of like using AI for creative stuff, and they're just like, oh, we get it, don't worry, it's not taking people's jobs. But then this just took the spot of two artists. Like some artist doesn't get to make the top 40 for real music because AI is doing it, and uh Timbaland's artist directly looks like an actual real artist who's pretty good and could use some clout working under Timbaland, and instead of paying her to help push this new artist, he just made an AI artist. And it's like, don't worry, it's not taking people's jobs. Like, yes, it is. Like, yeah, it directly is. So I've been on a big anti AI stuff because it's like, why are we using it to replace creatives? But yeah, AI is dumb.
It's just quick and easy, I guess. They don't have to think about it. They
Well, you
just
don't have
throw
to pay
something out
people.
there. Yeah, and you don't have to pay. Um, well, before I transition, I do want to mention there's a couple other things that I kind of glossed over. One game that's on sale right now that I have in my Steam library is called After Image. It's a really good 2D hack and slasher. That is on sale for around $5, I believe, on Steam and on PlayStation, probably Xbox as well. And Nintendo. It looked like they was putting it on sale in multiple locations, but definitely PlayStation and PC. You can get that for like $5 at this moment. So go check it out. Now, off the cuffs of Obsidian and Outer Worlds, that is under the Xbox umbrella, so I can just transition to mentioning this real quick. Xbox is so the rumors was that they weren't making a next gen title. Well, they're actually making a next gen title. But the key thing about it that I actually wanted to point out was they are removing the paywall to multiplayer apparently for that next
Interesting.
gen title. And then that particular next gen system will be able to play. It will have a PC component, which is has already been mentioned a bunch of times, which will allow you to play on other storefronts. The main one is obviously Steam. We promote Epic over here, so Epic will be something that you can probably play directly on there, which is cool because a lot of those Epic games are PC titles. So to being able to own those for free, and then access them from a console, is a big deal. And then also having the multiplayer being free with all the crossplay components, you could play with everybody. I think that's a big deal as well. So I just wanted to mention that. Any thoughts on that at all?
It's nice that we're not charging people for playing multiplayer, especially when majority of the games are now trying to force only multiplayer stuff.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that shakes the industry a little bit because the only other companies that will be doing it will be Nintendo and PlayStation.
Hmm.
And if we could remove multiplayer, then we don't have to like, or not move the paywall. Then you're not paying like $80 or $90 a month or whatever. You know what I mean? Not a month, but a year.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's usually like a bulk of like all your money going to practically nothing, right? Because you're not really like you're not really getting anything from it unless you're like paying for premium or something where you get the streaming with it. You get like two games or one game a month with it. Is really not necessarily, you know, like benefit. To me, it's not beneficial. In my opinion, it's not beneficial. It's you need multiplayer, but I don't feel like you should have that as a paywall, because like internet, like I pay $75 a month, right, for just what sometimes feels like basic internet, and then the thing wants to like crash every other month or something, where it's just not working at all, and it's like, and then on top of that, I got to pay for, you know, somebody else's internet to play a game where if I just jump right on the PC, I don't even have to pay for the internet for, right? And then there's all these countless MMOs and stuff that we got that is in the way. And so I just kind of feel like that is beneficial in itself. So yeah. Any last thoughts on that?
No, we covered it.
Want to talk about Judge Clerk? Shout out to Judge Clerk. Shout out to Judge Clerk. I actually wrote something down. Because I mentioned it to you before, but Lords of the Fallen 2.0 version allows you to have a friend pass. So it was like only one person needed to buy the game once they done that. But beforehand, both people had to buy it. If you remember correctly.
They keep changing things way after, like when they were like, it was, again, the game, I will forever hate this thing. On top of it, I think, to sum it up, ending on a glitch for me, I think sums up perfectly how I feel about this game. But then the fact that like a month after that, I was like, here's all these patch notes for a game that's been out for a long time that fixes everything. Or the fact that, didn't it release a patch while we were fighting this thing to make it, and all of a sudden it was easier?
It was way easy 1 week later, and we just kind of beat it like right then and there. And it also allowed you
boss fights where it glitched on me. Like that was one of the things of me getting hit. Or is this you?
I think it's your fault.
I think it's me. Yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to point out, where I wasn't even in the like line of the beam. It was back was turned to me, and then it was like hit, and my health went down. There was that one pretty cool knight, the swamp knight guy, where there was several times he would run past, I'll dodge out of the way, he's a couple feet away, I'll start walking, and then the character will fall from like a glitched after effect of it pretending he did hit me. Like, and it kept doing that, and I would lose chunks of it. It's like, for a game that requires precision dodging, and where 2 hits you die, like, you can't be like glitching like that. Like, it's trash. So yeah, I hate this game. I hate this game so much.
So yeah, Friends Pass. I think the 2.0 version might be, I don't know, it might be their last version. And then there's the actual second game that's going to come out at some point. And maybe GTA 6, maybe they had to push it back because they knew Lords of the Fallen 2 was coming out, man. I don't know. Maybe they was like, oh, Lords of the Fallen 2, oh no, we got to push this thing back. I don't know. Maybe. We let the streets talk about that, man. Anyways, right before I transition to the last thing I want to mention, which probably will go quick. Real quick, I forgot to mention this in the Nintendo point. Switch 2 has officially sold more than 10 million copies. What are your thoughts on that?
Cool. I'm happy people are enjoying it.
Cool.
Nothing like, I ain't a hater. It's not for me. But
I feel like they fudged the numbers a little bit because
for sure.
4 months or something, 10 million. I don't believe that, to be honest with you. But if they did, they did.
I also wonder, do you think how many people remember there was that fiasco with GameStop? The one I think in Jersey where because they stapled the receipt to the box, it punctured the screen. I wonder how
Uh,
many people who's willing to waste money went and bought two.
that's interesting. Maybe. Um, they don't have a Switch 2 Lite, right? It was only the regular Switch 2. I will give them one piece of credit. The only piece of credit I can give them. This thing does seem to be ready and available in the stores where you can just simply go get it and go home. There is no fighting against bots. There is no like, I gotta like call somebody to figure it out, pay some like $800 or $900 bundle thing. You just simply can go get it and go home. I will give them that because it was absolutely ridiculous with the other systems, as well as other things like Power Rangers figures and stuff, where you just could not get your item. It didn't matter what was going on, you just could not get it. At least you could see this in most stores. You might have to go into the good neighborhood stores, but you can at least see it. But yeah, all right. Well, oh, you got one more thing. Okay. What is going on with Sony? You said Sony will make you pay more money if they hate you or something like that. That's a bold
Yeah.
statement, man. They might come sue you.
All right.
What you
So
trying to say?
there's been rumors and it's been resurfacing of of Sony doing dynamic pricing. So they've been doing a thing where you can be in the same region, and still get a different price for a game than somebody else. So someone posted a picture of a side by side where they were gonna buy Red Dead Redemption 2 Ultimate Edition, and for them it was marked down from $99.99 to $19.99, right? 100 to 20. But then when they looked at their wife's account, it was marked from 100 to 15. The wife got an extra $5 discount that he didn't get, and apparently there's been notice that like Sony will sometimes give you an extra discount or like a slightly different price if the game has been in your wish list longer, or if there's a pattern of you only buying under $20. So when somebody else it would cost 25, you it'll cost 20 because they think you'll actually buy it then. Or if you're known for, let's say, only playing Souls-like games, and then let's say I'm playing racing games, and I look into a Souls-like game, for me it might cost 30, where for you it'll cost 20 because it knows you like Souls-like games, so it thinks putting it a little bit cheaper will incentivize you to buy it faster. So they've been doing like scanning what people do and changing the price slightly based off of it. Not extra rampant to where everyone's noticing it, but if you really pay attention, it happens a couple times.
I caught GameStop doing that once, where on the regular website something was cheaper. It was actually the opposite. On the website it was cheaper, but if I went under their app, it cost more for me specifically. It was kind of a turnoff.
Yep.
Amazon does something similar as well, and I think eBay does it in a different way where they'll try to give you a discount where they help you pay for something. If you had something on a watch list or something that was like listed under somebody's thing and it was like getting ready to expire, they'd be like, hey, we know you've been looking at this. So I think that's a thing that they just do in storefronts.
Yep. I'm sure Amazon does the same to do like certain things.
Yeah.
To just be like, hey, you might like we've looked at patterns of things you buy. Here's something you might also like. We'll give you even more money off. I don't know how I 100% feel about it. Because like in one way it's like, well, no, that's not fair. The pricing should be equal for everybody. But at the same time too, if it's a game you're not gonna get, or like for example me, I don't play all the Souls-like games. So them being on super sale for me does nothing because even if it's $10, I'm still probably not going to get it. Whereas you like the Souls-like games, so if it notices that and it's like, okay, we notice you want these, so we'll give you an even better discount because we know you've been looking into it. Is that really that much of a bad thing? I could see if like a game was supposed to come out at 60, but because I don't normally play Souls, like they're trying to get 70 out of me, or they didn't like me. But I feel like if it's terms of like we're already just taking a discount, and then based off of someone's patterns, they get a bigger discount.
Yeah.
I could see an argument both ways. for it. Where it's like, well, now that it's not cheap, I'm definitely not going to try it. Versus, you know, hey, we notice you like these here. So I don't know if it's like the worst thing in the world.
I just think for the people out there, they should kind of do what I do, where you set a limit and you say, well, this is how much I would probably pay for something, and you just don't go past it. And it doesn't matter what they're doing, as long as you're not going past your limit, then you're good. That's kind of how, like, I'm trying to treat Black Friday like that, or at least just after Black Friday, where it's like I'm not going past $20 for something like a title, or if it's a Steam game, I don't want to go past 10, because that'll limit the purchases, and then you just have what you really are willing to pay, and you'll still drip feed games to yourself where it's still at a pace where you're keeping up, but you're not overspending, right? Which is the biggest thing. So that's my thought process on that. Any last topics before I get into a very juicy one?
Nope.
Okay. Ambernic RG DS. All right. So this is the DS thing, right? Apparently, so the internet turned on it, and I was kind of expecting them to turn on it because so it was advertised as being like under $100, right? And it was like, so the main thing was that if you bought it, it was 120 because of the shipping and handling. So of course it was more than 100. But then on top of that, apparently it's not powerful enough to play 3DS. It's only powerful enough to play DS, which defeats the main purpose of it, basically. So yeah, that's the whole thing. Everybody's just now starting to find out about it. Like, it still doesn't come out for a whole nother month, but basically it can only handle like a portion of 3DS, like a very, very small amount. I think people are projecting it to only be able to do like 20% of it. And so because of that, like, it's not going to, like, I don't even want it no more, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't even want it no more. I think the Iron Thor is the device to get, and I'll probably get it sometime next year. But it still hasn't come out. It comes out December 15th, and then you'll see like a whole bunch of different reviews and stuff, I'm sure, around that time. So we'll get a much more in-depth look at it around Christmas time, I want to say. But until then, no. Like, I don't know. For me, I wasn't that much disappointed because I kind of figured, like, if they were going to chop that price down, they had to compromise something.
Yeah.
Right? They would have had to compromise something. And basically what we're finding out is that it has the same amount of power as a lot of those other devices. Because I don't know if you know the device that you and me have, which was the 40XX, that one has the ability to play regular DS as well. But like, it's in there, but it just doesn't have the second screen, so you have to keep toggling back and forth between screens. So you can't really, like get the full experience. But the other one, like, it's not advertised to be able to handle 3DS. It's advertised to play DS and everything that was before it, which is like all the Game Boy stuff, all of the Super Nintendo stuff, all of those systems. So they did the same thing they was doing before, where it was just like, here's a device that comes out this month compared to the last month, and it's in a different shape. It's like, yeah, they added the second screen, but it was like, that was it, just the second screen. And it didn't really have much more power than the rest of it. So if you was to go to their page where they're advertising it, it's like starting to get like a bunch of like downvotes and stuff on a bunch of stuff, and people are like talking about it in their comment sections and stuff. And so yeah, it's not the device to get. I mean, if people really just wanted to just play, like I can't think of anybody who only wants to play DS and not 3DS. Like I could only imagine everybody wants to put it all together. But it cannot handle the other side. It just can't handle it. It's unfortunate, but yeah, it can't handle it. It can't
That's
handle it.
crazy.
It looked like a nice device as far as aesthetics. But that's as far as it goes. Not only that, the resolution doesn't go past 480p, where the Thor device goes up to 1080p. It doesn't have the widescreen. It was just like the little box screen.
Mm.
So it's underpowered. So it is what it is. I was actually expecting that, to be honest.
You
But
were.
I
Because you were
just,
mentioning, you kept saying something has to be cut somewhere. Like, there's a reason why this thing is only 100. Like,
yeah, it's like
like
less
there's a
than half
reason.
the price. It's less than half the price. So, that was a red flag in itself when they were trying to advertise it. Because in the very beginning, it was just like there was no other advertisement whatsoever. Like there was no other. They didn't say anything else. And I was like, well, if you're just trying to sell it to a broke person, well, no disrespect. Like if you're just trying to sell it to somebody who is just looking for a budget, then I mean, it's like you get what you pay for, right? And so yeah, that system is not there. I think also the performance, like the people who buy those devices like every month, they know that the performance is very similar to like the regular other handhelds. Um, this is interesting. Guacamelee looked just like that looked just like Metroid Fusion. That one spot.
Hmm.
That's a cool, because the thing that was holding the what is it called, the power up. That's exactly
Yeah.
what they have in there.
Ah.
Um, yeah. Well, good thing ain't nobody else suing each other. But yeah. Um,
So real
the
quick, can I talk about this game?
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I beat it like a couple weeks ago.
How
This,
long is it?
especially if you've played the first one, it's about 6 to 8 hours, about 8.
That's not bad.
Um, yeah, fantastic game. It does have like it'll be like randomly like, all right, easy, easy, easy. Here's this crazy difficult level, easy,
Hmm.
easy, easy, easy. Like it does jump in difficulty, especially towards the end. Um, but like it was really cool. It's definitely a shout out to a lot of other games. There are several images around the game where it's just referencing other pop culture stuff, but now the game takes place, of course, with a luchador. So
Hmm.
everything's designed to look like luchadors. So they had this one where it's like gotta go fast, and it was a luchador wearing pretty much a Sonic costume, but like luchador style. Or they had one where it was like upcoming match, and it was like El Hombre versus like Escalato, and it was clearly He-Man versus Skeletor, like in the image. But they kept doing that for like a lot of the stuff, which I thought was really cool.
Do
There's
they
even a
still
whole
trying
joke
to?
level. Oh god.
Do they still try to teach you Spanish?
Like occasionally here and there, not as much as the first game, where
Yeah,
there's
I
a lot more
remember.
Spanish
Yeah, there
phrases.
was a lot of Spanish,
Yeah,
from what I
not this
remember.
one. Most of like the most Spanish you pretty much see is your chicken version. It gets a lot of powers that are all called El Pollo something.
Okay.
Other than that, not really. But real cool. They even have a joke level, um, where it's all memes everywhere and mocking. I think they were taking like tweets from people who were complaining about the amount of memes in the first game, and was just like, "Oh, the devs like really are ruining the game," and like the characters are saying that in the level, mocking you for like having the meme. So they were just like calling out everything. So it was
Hmm.
really funny. But like it's an overall fun game, humorous with really good gameplay, nice puzzle solving and stuff. With rewards to go back, can get real challenging as needed. When you're expecting it or not expecting it as well. Without being like overly annoying, but there was a few times where I had to redo stuff over. But yeah, definitely a solid game.
I think the first one, the version I had was what, the Super Turbo Edition? Isn't that
Yeah,
what it was
Super
called?
Turbo Championship Edition.
Yeah, I gotta pick it back up. I think I own both of these.
Nice.
But yeah. Um, at the end of the day, the Thor device is what I'm gonna have to go with. Um, I was
Oh
already kind
yeah.
of leaning toward like that device. Actually, they said that plays all of the 3DS with no problem.
Oh.
So I mean, that's a done deal. And remember, that's the device that was doing more than what it needs to do. So like every device that does more than what it needs to do, it should be able to handle what it needs to do, right? So I mean, that's all we really need. I mean, Ambernic, I honestly also think with Ambernic, because of how we've seen them move in the past, though, they're gonna come out with they'll fix their issue the next month or the next 2 months or something. Because if you remember their Game Boy Advance run, it was like every month it was a different title or a different shape until they got to the Game Boy Advance itself, and then that was it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's it. You ready to play some Diablo?
Yeah, man.
All right. Yeah.
That's how we ended.
I guess I sent you a read the deal. But yeah, Diablo.
Oh, yeah, I got you. All right, yeah, thank y'all for sticking with us. Hopefully we'll be back. So, our apologies for disappearing for a little bit, but we hope y'all enjoy your break. Remember, hydrate or dihydrate out in these streets. Make sure you're drinking
Hydrate
your
or
water.
dihydrate?
Yeah, man, make
Okay.
sure you're drinking your water. Like, comment, subscribe. Love to get your thoughts on a lot of the topics today, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
Peace.